Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mage, and today I have a special guest for Creeping Patterns. This is the one part famous, one part infamous, and 5 parts ridiculous, Mr. Persuade.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight? This is Persuade. Mage has kind of coerced me into helping him with some creeping patterns for Orc, and we're going to be doing a few maps tonight: Market Square, Deadlock, and Silverpine. And right now, we're going to start with the Market map.
Yep, and why don't you go ahead and give us your early thoughts about Market Square as an Orc?
So for Orc, the most important thing, as most of you realize, is hero levels and items. So this is a great map to beef up your heroes, as some would call it, because it's got orbs, it's got health, it's got strength, it's got all the good claws and stuff. There are summons on the map, so it's a good map for it because the items are really high levels. That's all there is to it. And there's a lot of gold. It's hard to defend some of the expos, but Orc towers are pretty good because of the tight spots and everything. So it's a very solid Orc map, I would say.
Okay, and we can see that you are sending out a scout towards the corner expansion there. I presume that you're going that way just because the corners across from each other are the most dangerous spot on the map?
Yeah, typically in most free-for-all games, that aren't bot games, FML style like this, the only one that you're going to be worried about, since it's a 4-player map, are your close spawns. And most people won't scout. Like some person like Rectify might not scout, but I'm usually keen, and especially when there's 4 strong players in a game, I want to find out who's next to me. Makes my decisions for the early game, prolong me into the late game. So if I make some good decisions based on, my surroundings, then it'll help. So
Yep. And we can see that you are going for Blade Master here. I mean, it seems like the perfect map for the Blade Master, but is there any time you'd ever go for either a Dark Ranger or a Farseer first as a work on this map?
As Farseer and Dark Ranger, I probably wouldn't on this
Alchemist?
map. Alchemist I might, just because, whatever items are good for a BM are also good for an Alchemist. Although there are 3 humans, and I don't think Alchemist is very good versus human. You just kind of need the burst damage sometimes to snipe the heroes, like with the Blade Master, and Alchemist doesn't really provide that because, he does a lot of damage, but it's very hard to get him into position, and I don't think, Acid Bomb's not very good, especially since people like lightweight like to go ground armies. It's an Orc, so later game it might be fine, but I prefer Blade Master on this map versus humans.
Makes sense. And we can see here that Lightweight has offered you the corner expansion, and there are 2 things I want to touch upon that. The first is we can see in the chat that you automatically assume it means that you are surrounded here, and we're actually going to see you come scout it down now. Why do you assume that?
Well, Lightweight, this is a great map to rush an Orc on, especially close spawn for Lightweight. If he's going to leave me alone, it means that I'm surrounded, and it's typically not smart to... sometimes it might be smart for him to rush me to get me out, but this is a very important game. I believe it's the King of Free for All finals for King of Free for All 2. So he's going to play it safe and just get as much gold as possible because he wants me in his good graces essentially. So he's going to let me have the expo. Hopefully I'll rush Renault because Renault, not to be mean or anything, but might be a little bit easier to rush out than Lightweight. So he's hoping to expand away from me. That's what I'm thinking Lightweight's doing. So. If I have expos closer to Lightweight, it gives him the advantage in the 1 versus 1. So that's another thing to think about.
Makes sense. And the other thing is, say Lightweight had not been nice enough to offer you that corner expo, would you try and take it, or would you try and leave it for the other person? And we could talk about it both if you were in a surround like this, or if you were not in a surround, you just knew where your position and Lightweight's position was.
Well, if I was in a surround and I knew he was going to take the corner, knowing the other 2 players in the game comes in handy because I believe Brain and Renault would both leave me alone if I was surrounded. So I might feel a little bit safer with the cross map expansion, especially on this map because it's easy to put the tower up, because of the what's it called, the small entrances.
Yep.
It's very easy to defend. Granted there are 3 humans, so it's not that easy to defend, but it's quite easy to secure an expansion cross map in this map. But no, I think it's, if he were to rush me, I probably would, I'd probably go some kind of solo army just to fuck him up and teach him that No, I probably would do that. Yeah, if he was taking if he took the corner expansion. Sorry for stuttering. If he took this corner expansion and he knew that I was surrounded, I probably would rush him out or attempt to.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he
Teach him for future games.
yeah, teach him for ruining the game essentially.
Okay, and we can see here that you have your first expansion going up, but you actually have finished your stronghold already. So most players will tend to expand before going to Tier 2, and especially on Market, you see players almost always try and get that first expansion up so early. Can you talk a little bit about your reasoning for why you're willing to sacrifice a later expansion in order to tech up quickly?
If I feel comfortable early game and no one's going to rush me, I will probably throw up an expansion right away, but I mean, as I said, I was a little nervous because of my position to lightweight, so I kind of want to get my Shadow Hunter out as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I want my tech up ASAP just in case something comes out of the way. So that's why I kind of went to get good items on the BM, tried to get him to 3 as fast as possible. That way, I can probably beat him if he were to rush me. And I typically find that Orc doesn't need as much gold as the other races, so you can get away with being a little greedy. So
makes sense.
I want to get my 3rd hero out and the orb as fast as possible so I can start creeping the big camps.
Yep, and we see here that you have just discovered Brain Man creep in the middle. Is this a good position for you to creep check him, or are you more likely to go ahead and let him live? It looks like, are you trying to draw the creeps onto him here?
if it was Renault or lightweight, I might have tried to be more of an asshole and kill something, but since Brain Man is cross map, I just went for the summon, which, if you read the chat, that's what I did. It's just a summon. I'm not gonna try and kill valuable units of his, but it's free experience for a Blade Master. So there's sometimes you just want to kill that stuff. It's really tempting to avoid it sometimes. I mean, if you play Orc, you'll realize, hey, something's in the red. I have a Blade Master. It's got to be done.
It's instinct.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And we can see you put your 2nd expansion up, so you are in a couple minutes going to have 2 expansions up and running. You will be almost to your fortress, and you're just now putting up your Spirit Lodge. Usually in solo, at least, you'll see those are the first things that go up once you hit Tier 2. But obviously this is free-for-all, and you are willing to go ahead and tech to fortress before you even start pulling up your Spirit Lodges beast areas.
I felt a little safe because it's past the early game, and that means lightweight's going to be creeping. I don't scout as much as I should right here, but yeah, I want to get that. I want to get the TC out as soon as possible so I can start leveling him up. Because a low level, most people prefer TC second. Me personally, I always go SH second because I think SH is the best hero in the game. After Dark Ranger, of course. And so I kind of want to just get my TC out and just start leveling up so I can, win fights based on just because my hero levels. So
yep. So we are 8 minutes into the game, and it seems like it should be just about time to start hitting these red camps. What type of army do you usually need to take down one of these red camps with as an Orc player?
Well, for Orc, all you need is a few grunts, a Shadow Hunter, and a Blade Master. You can kill anything. As you see right here, I'm getting ready to take the corner, and I mean Hex and Heal just allows you to kill things you normally wouldn't be able to. One thing to note on this creep camp, I don't know if many people realize it, but the big level 8 guy, he can summon skeletons from the corpse, so it makes it kind of annoying to creep. So you never want to kill the renegade wizards first. You always want to kill either the wizard first, the big one, or the skeletons, because the skeletons won't drop corpses. So
that actually is a very helpful creep tip. And you do see that you lose a grunt there, you noob.
Yeah, it's fine. They're going to die eventually. Might as well lose them to creeps when you're keeping something important rather than just giving them free over to a lightweight or something.
Yep, so the drop here is an Orb of Frost. How do you feel that meshes with the Orc army? And, I mean, I presume you're not going to keep it on the Blade Master the entire time, and you'll probably move it to your Shadow Hunter.
I believe I put it on the Shadow Hunter, where I think it's really good, because usually, if you think about it, well, it's not about the damage, it's about the slow.
Yep.
So the Shadow Hunter is usually going to get more right clicks off than a Blade Master, and he's got the range, so it's easier to kite with a ranged hero. If, let's say, I'm escaping and I have the frost on him, I can just keep kiting and be fine. Or if I can focus down and get more slow effects off, whereas the Blade Master might be low half the time and might not even be in the battle. The Shadow Hunter will always be able to, throw the slow attack out, and it's pretty much more useful on him, in my opinion. Because I also prefer the Orb of Lightning on the Blade Master just because the purge effect is sick.
Nope.
And it's easier,
sense.
and it also sometimes I probably haven't done it in a while, but usually I used to at least is when I hex someone, I always drop the Orb of Lightning to make sure that purge doesn't proc, and it's much easier to drop the Orb of Lightning on your first hero than shuffle through the other two heroes and drop them individually. So, me personally, I'd prefer to have one Orb of Lightning and two Orb of Frost if it were ever an opportune moment for me.
Makes sense. And we can see here that you do have your Tauren Chieftain out. We looked at your base, but we'll go back to that in a moment, and we can see you taking down the Dark Wizard here. We noticed that there are some skeletons, as you mentioned, so do you ever consider going for the Dark Wizard first here to prevent the skeletons from being summoned as well, or is it too hard in this creep camp?
What you usually want to do in this spot is bring the Dark Wizard away from the health fountain. I think I did that originally, because you don't want him to be regenerating while you're trying to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just focus it down, and I mean, you can have infinite heals because the mana fountain is for your Shadow Hunter, and you just waste all your mana and all your ability just to kill that thing down as fast as possible because you want to secure the item. So I mean, the right here, the skeletons and all the little minions don't really matter because they don't do that much damage, and the health fountain will pretty much heal whatever damage they do. But yeah, you always want to go for him first usually.
And we can see you pick up the Tome of Power on your Blade Master. Did you consider at any point using it on something else like your Shadow Hunter, or what instances would you not take? I mean, you're pretty close to level 5, and now you're pretty close to level 6 on the Blade Master.
Well, I'm a huge advocate of making sure I get the most out of the most value out of the Tome of Power. If you also notice, I waited till the very last second to pick it up. Mm-hmm. I felt safe because there's 3 humans, and there's no way they can get the jump on me. Like there's no Blade Master running around. So I felt safe just leaving it on the ground to get all the experience out of the way and then picking it up. The reason I didn't pick it up on the TC is because it's level 1, so it's basically like 3 creeps. It's just a waste. Shadow Hunter, I probably would have if I was level 4. Level 3, I still don't feel it's worth it. Since I was so close to... I just wanted to get the most value out of it, so I put it up.
That makes sense. And we can see here that you are using all 3 heroes to creep this. Are you continuing to use the Blade Master just because... Oh, there you go. It does look like you're going to pull the Blade Master away to get as much experience as possible. So you're just using it for... Ooh, another Orb of Frost. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's ideal for me.
Okay, and then let's take a look at your scouting. You do have some sentry wards placed around the map, but I do not believe you have yet scouted where Brainman is on the map. We can see him on my mini-map, but I think that's just a replay glitch.
Yeah, personally, I don't care where he is. I mean, if I know all the players in the game, I'm going to feel safe knowing that if I'm in a surround, the 4th player is not going to hit me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already have the smallest chance to win because I am in a surround. So I don't think anyone wants to piss me off just because they know that I won't mind taking them with me, if that makes sense.
Yep, it does. And then we can see your Blade Master is doing a little bit of scouting by itself now.
I mean, if there's no point in creeping with it, it's just a waste of experience. So, yeah, I'm just poking around, seeing what's up.
Yeah. So far you have managed to take down 3 red camps. In a typical game, how many of those are you aiming to get?
I would have been happy with... As long as you get your corner, you should be satisfied. If you get your corner and possibly the mid, you should be thrilled. The fact that I got the bottom right is just silly. I mean, I shouldn't have been able to get that, especially since human can creep the corner faster than an orc can.
Makes sense. Also, I find it really funny that Brainman is sharing this expansion with Renault just so he can get the wood.
I don't know what that is. That's kind of cute.
That is amusing. Okay, and then let's talk about your base. So you have 2 bestiaries, you're going to have 2 Tauren totems, and 2 spirit lodges. 3 bestiaries, sorry. And you are currently capped at 80 food. So you can go up to an 80 food army if you want to, but not beyond that. How do you feel about this base build? I mean, the first thing that stands out to me is these bestiaries would be really easy to be taken down from air on the side, but I guess you're not overly worried about griffins because there are 3 humans in the map.
I actually think that I should be fine with going a wyvern army because I mean the 3 humans will most likely try to avoid going an AR heavy army, or at least that's what I thought they would.
Yeah, sorry. What I mean is that it seems like it would be really easy to bring them down from the outside. You don't have any towers, so your production building could go down very quickly.
I mean, you have a point there. I probably, as long as I put it away from one of the humans, I felt safe. I probably should have switched them with like the Spirit Lodge because I mean, Bestiary is probably more important if I need to pump out bats ASAP or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the base itself is kind of small until I can at least clear out the trees. So it's I really don't have a choice. Ideally, I would want to put them to the right of the fortress and then like a line of towers and then the barracks in the front to take the damage, but for some reason I am a noob, it looks like, and I have I don't like my base at all this game, I'll be honest. I do like the fact that the burrows are in the back. I don't think they should ever be in the front, but I think the tower should always be behind like a line of barracks. Like if you look at lightweight space, just from the vision we have right now,
yep,
you want the towers to be able to, I mean, because of the way the ramp works in the fog, having them so close, I mean, it doesn't actually make a difference. You should put them back a little bit just to make sure that something else soaks up the damage in the front. So,
okay, that makes sense. Let's see. It looks like pretty much everything is crept out here. You can see you are trying to find any last remaining creeps, but it doesn't look like there are any. Is there anything else that you wanted to comment about this, or how about anything with your base army composition that might change if it wasn't against 3 humans?
Against if I was playing maybe very rarely would you ever be orc against three undead or something. That I might decide to go TC second because stomp is more important at that point. I mean, as you'll see, I think creepjacking is fine if you're orc. So if for all you orcs out there that are afraid of creepjacking or pissing people off, just do it. Just screw everyone else. Just creepjack, get those items, get those creeps. All you care about is items and levels. You shouldn't worry about anything else. So it's, I mean, if there's a fight right here, so let's see if I can pick anything off, because this is where orc shines.
Yeah, the lightweight has pretty stacked heroes right now.
He does. I probably won't be able to. Oh, I guess I kill that.
Oh, all right.
Missed a Staff of Sanctuary. But yeah, I mean, most people probably won't take offense to early skirmishes, so you shouldn't worry too much about suicides. I mean, as long as you're not breaking... But one thing I would mention is that if you do decide to take early skirmishes and creepjack, make sure you're always scouting that person, just in case they decide to break on you. Like, if you see I'll have a ward on Renault at the bottom, so I can never see if he's going to attack me. Just scouting is very important on a map like this. For some reason, I don't have a ward on lightweight. I assume it's because every time I throw one up...
it dies to towers. I've been watching them go down.
What I would normally do in this situation is make one bat and possibly put it over a tree line or wherever his production facilities are. So on the right-hand side, if you see 2 sanctuaries, you might want to throw a bat over the trees on that side. Just once you see him start pumping, then that's the moment you want to break. But before that, as long as you're not surrounded, you can play a little bit greedy. But like right now, since I am surrounded, I feel I need to break out on someone. And since I have about 7,000 gold and 3 expos up, it's a pretty safe bet. However, if looking at the game right now, I should break on Renault because you don't want to attack someone who has their expansions away from you, like lightweight does. And if he's noticed that my expansion in the top right is very close to him and very far away from me, I would probably never die if I were to attack Renault. Whereas if I were to attack lightweight, he could just send a tank that way and then just tear me apart, just through attrition. So
makes sense.
The fact that I attack lightweight here, I think, is a bad idea. If I recall, I was going to attack Renault, but if you see, I have 2 wards bottom at 6 and 7 o'clock, and you can see that they're fighting, so I don't really have another choice. So it's just unfortunate, but that's pretty much it. Sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else you need to add in.
As far as people who decide they want the summons over the corners, you can try and take the what's called the 12, 3, 6, 9 o'clocks for trying to get the Inferno Stone. I think it's better only if you're going to rush someone. I mean, later in the game, those summons probably, aside from the Inferno, those summons are pretty, they're not really that impactful in the game, especially since you can pretty much purge most of them away.
Okay, and let's slow back here. Just to clarify, what you're saying is that the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock red camps drop summon items, whereas
the big summon items.
Yep, the ones at 1:30, 4:30,
the corners.
7:30, yeah, the corners. Those drop the
they
items
drop
like
late
Orb of
game
Frost.
items,
Yeah,
which is probably which would be better if you decide to play into the late game rather than rush someone. Whereas if it was an 8-player map, like if there were 8 people playing, then I would most likely always try and get that the summon drop, and then rush my corner out, just because it can help you win a fight early on, especially when people won't have much stuff.
All right. Well, I think that should help everybody get a go onto Market Square as Orc. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up, and we can move our way on to the next one. So thank you very much, Persuade, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again.